Hello, the interwebs. I'm Funkle.
And I'm Bunkle.
And I'm Jacques from Statfirm.
And welcome to the FunkleBunker. Today we're going to be talking about our single-player games dying. How, why, when, and all that other stuff.
I think single-player games are dying.
Explain.
Well, okay,
I'm sorry, nobody can see this, but he's just giving you this look like, explain, you dumb piece of crap.
Tell me, how are they dying? Well, to be fair, just as a preface, I think that there has been some good single-player games released here recently.
Right.
Wolfenstein 2.
Mm-hmm.
There was another one, but I can't remember the name of it.
Mario Odyssey.
Nintendo's been doing a great job with this. Nintendo might be keeping single-player games alive.
I don't know. It's kind of like an IV drip into a shriveled old man who's like 95, so...
Yeah, they're trying.
They're like, stay alive, man!
But I mean, just like the most popular games, maybe in like the past year, have all been always online, all the time. And they either have some sort of like social network together, like PUBG, you got Overwatch, you got Destiny 2.
See, I don't really count those as single-player games. The only one that has a single-player aspect of any kind is Destiny 2.
I know, I'm not saying that those are single-player games, all of them. I'm saying that they're leading to the death of single-player games because they're so popular.
Well, that's true. There's a lot of popular multiplayer games, though.
But as a company, I think they're like, why would we make a single-player game that we can only charge someone for one time? Or we can make a multiplayer game that we can charge people for endlessly. And that's why they're even putting it into Assassin's Creed now with the loot boxes. I know we talked about some of this on the other time, but it ties into this. Assassin's Creed Origins is a completely single-player game with loot boxes. That just blows my mind. Yeah. I don't know. I don't get it.
Well, like, I haven't played Assassin's Creed Origins, so I don't know a whole lot about it. But from what I understand, it's just vanity stuff, right?
Yeah, it's...
I thought you actually got gear and stuff in Origins.
Do you actually get gear?
You get gear
well then that's stupid.
I know in Shadow of Mordor, which is a single-player game with loot boxes for some reason, people have complained a lot that they feel like the new loot boxes are necessary for post-game stuff. Like
they are completely necessary for post-game stuff. You can beat the entire single-player without the loot boxes, but like you have to like conquer the whole area, you know, like post-game after credits stuff.
Right.
You either have to grind out like a ridiculous amount of hours to get the orc boys that you need to get the strong orcs, because you have to capture, right? And then even then they can die. So you can spend all this time getting a good one and like massing up your army, and then a couple of them die, and you're like, fuck, it's just more time to it's ridiculous. Or you can spend like $10, $20, get some really strong orc boys just right then and there and call it done. So
Can the purchased orcs also die? Can they be killed?
Not 100% sure.
I'd be kind of upset if I spent $10 on an orc and then it died.
I think they can die.
I mean, that would make sense. It's not. It's not like I spend $10 on these orcs and they're invincible. Why would I spend more money then?
Exactly.
That's true.
But I mean, that's just leading into the issue of these companies feel like they can't make single-player games without adding some sort of online interaction or loot box system where you have recurring purchases. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, here's a fun brain brain exercise. What is the last single player game you can remember that did not have an online connectivity whatsoever?
Like recent game that came out, or just one that I played?
Like the most recent one that comes to your mind.
I don't.
The Witcher 3 came out a couple years ago. That didn't have any online connectivity. Well, I mean, even Mario Odyssey has like little leaderboards.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, literally no online connectivity whatsoever that contributes to the game. Because even though leaderboards are literally in the back of everyone's mind, nobody gives a damn about them. They're still there, and they still give you something to work towards because it's a internet-based.
Yeah.
Air quotes. I'm using air quotes. Nobody can see these air quotes. Internet-based air quotes, but they're adding online features to like everything.
Yeah, to kind of keep you.
And the last non-online feature game that I can remember playing in my near past. That's not even. That's totally grammatically incorrect. Who cares? Anyway, in recent memory, there we go. I figured it out. is for me was probably Skyrim.
I think Wolfenstein 2 might not have any online features. It doesn't even have multiplayer. I haven't played it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I know that they talked about they didn't want to add in multiplayer, so I mean the single player, it might just be a single player game. Other than that, it's been a while, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like the companies are really relying on the interconnectivity that the internet has brought around in recent times. And I feel like that's the downfall to a lot of single-player games, is they're like, we have to add a connectivity of some sort, otherwise no one's going to be interested.
Right.
You don't have to. I mean, I think they're mostly just concerned about money. I don't think...
Well, money's always a thing when it comes to games.
Well, yeah. Well, because I don't think that it's necessarily a bad thing that there's leaderboards for the jump rope in Mario Odyssey necessarily. As long as they're not trying to sell me loot boxes that increase my jump rope capability, you know.
True.
Then I don't care if I just get on there and I'm like, oh, cool. It's still a single player experience. I'm not like jumping rope next to those people.
Or are you?
I could be if they're playing at my house since the Switch is mobile.
Damn.
I mean, they could be. They could be right there the entire time. What if in the near future there's an update and they add the ghost of other people playing at the same time as you?
I don't know if I'd like that.
Like Dark Souls, you can just
see
faded Marios jumping around.
And you see them kill themselves.
Yeah.
Now, see, there's a game that I feel like is single player, but adds just a little bit of multiplayer into it to accent what it already has.
Yeah, I like how they incorporate the multiplayer in the Souls game, where it's not like...
And if you don't even want that, guess what? There's an offline mode.
Exactly. I think that's one of the better examples of how to have a single-player game and add online connectivity without fucking over people. You know what I mean?
I think in Wind Waker HD, they added the Tingle bottle, where you could find notes from other players. And like, I don't think it needed to be added. Like, it didn't really make or break anything for me, but I just thought it was funny. Like, finding notes from people that are like, can someone send me pictures of this enemy, please? Or they just made a shitty little drawing of Link, and they're like...
That's funny.
Yeah.
For the most part, though, I mean, I feel like they're trying... And this is the good side in me saying this. I feel like they're trying to create a bigger community and connect to your friends more through the internet, because couch gaming really isn't a big thing anymore, and especially the way that we make friends nowadays through the internet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I want to play a couch game with my friend in England... My friend in England is going to be like, bruh, I'm not going to fly all the way there to play like 2 hours with you playing Mario Kart, okay?
Exactly.
I'm going to stay in England because I don't want to spend a crap ton of money flying all the way there just to play Mario Kart with you on your couch when we could just do it over the internet.
It's true.
That is fair.
And see, that's the way a kind of multiplayer thing that I enjoy is it's right now... You guys have told me that they're about to change this, but right now Nintendo's completely free to play online with your friends.
Yes.
You want to play Mario Kart? You play with your friends Mario Kart online. No strings attached. You just buy the game, play with your friends.
And I think next year it's going to be $20 for a year.
And see, I hate that.
Yeah.
You want to know why? Because I already have to pay for my very crappy internet. And now you want me to pay for an online service so I can play games with my friends?
Exactly. It's like it's the whole point of Mario Kart to begin with, I feel like. Sure, you can race the bots, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But the main draw of the game...
You're there to play with your friends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or like, okay, a better example, even if it's not Nintendo, still, like, PSN and Xbox Live are the same thing, basically, just a little bit more expensive. Overwatch. Are you going to play Overwatch and just play bot matches?
No.
Like, is that what you're going to do with the game? If you don't have
a PC, if you don't have a PC, it costs you money to play with your friends.
It does. You're paying like a subscription price to play Overwatch. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what you're paying.
I mean, I know it's like a yearly thing, which isn't a huge deal to a lot of people, but for me, it's like I'm paying you essentially like $5 a month to play with my friends on my console.
Yep. Which is what it's there for anyway.
Exactly.
In my opinion. I mean, well, okay, but I think we're getting a little bit off topic. Do we think that all this is leading to the death
Well, like
of single player games.
The thing about it is I think the biggest problem and why it's killing off single player games, all that we've been talking about, and to tie it all back together, is the fact that those are what makes sales.
Yeah,
you make a single player game, people will play it, yes, but not near the amount that will play the other game.
Because now that everything's all connected, it's so much easier to play with your friends.
Exactly.
Like when I'm on my computer, I can see that you're online. I can see that Alex is online. Do I want to sit there and play Skyrim? Sure, I'll probably have fun. But I might have more fun playing Overwatch with you guys.
Right.
Because then we can all talk about it and play it together. It's like a community thing.
Here's the deal, and here's something that I didn't actually think about till right now. So single-player games, you buy the game, you play it by yourself for a certain amount of hours, blah, 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 you get done. Now, another thing that has been dying along with the single-player video games is couch co-op video games.
Yeah.
And they've been dying off at about the same rate. And here is why. When you buy a single-player game, how many games do you buy?
1.
When you're playing a couch co-op game, how many games do you buy?
1.
Uno.
When you're playing a multiplayer game over the internet, how many games do you buy? It depends on the amount of friends that you have.
Yeah, one for everyone who's playing.
One for every single person that's playing. I can tell you right now, I've bought like 15 games for our friend Kendrick to play with us.
You're right. You're like, well, you're playing Overwatch with us.
I'm essentially buying 2 copies of a game I already own so I can play with my friends. Whereas if it was a couch co-op game or a single-player game, I'd be buying 1 and just letting my friends borrow it when they wanted to play.
That's fair.
Yeah.
For the console side of it, that obviously, I agree with that completely. I think there's another issue, though, not as prevalent. Consoles don't have as good hardware as PC.
True.
But they're still pressing the graphics. They want to have the best graphics out right now. Mm-hmm. So when they have those flashy trailers, they're like, yeah!
4K.
Yeah, amazing. Whenever you split the game up and there's 2 people playing, the game has to do twice as much work, and they can't do the graphics that they want and have 4 people playing on the same thing.
Don't go too far into this. This is a whole different topic.
No, I'm just saying, so that might be another reason that's killing co-op. They're like, okay, are people going to buy a game because it looks good? Or are people going to buy a game that's shittier looking, but that they can play it with their friends? And I think they're going to go with that it looks good.
I mean, I'm not 100% sure on that.
No, it is. That's just how it works. When you have 2 people playing on the same, it has to render 2 different things. So that's like why on like the new Call of Duty games that had the I don't know if the newest one did. I don't think it does. But the last one that had the split screen co-op, the game ran at 60 FPS, but when you're playing with a friend, each one ran at 30 FPS.
Right.
Okay.
To make it possible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah, you're right. That makes sense.
So they can't have both people running at 60 FPS and be able to load everything graphically. The hardware just can't do it.
Right.
See, like, the whole thing about that is, and that's a whole different
demon
that we don't necessarily need to get into right now, but, like, when it comes to how a game looks, I am a snob.
Yeah.
Which is why I think your point has a lot of validity to it. Because whenever I look at a game, I went back and I played a PS2 game the other day. And I looked at that game and I went, why does it look like I'm looking down a kaleidoscope when I'm moving fast?
Yeah.
That's fair.
Why is this so bad? And then the other day I went and played... I mean, this is partially because the console wasn't built to run with a TV of the size that I have. The Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
It's not built to run with that resolution. But the point is I was playing it and I was like, this is running at a horrible, horrible frame rate. And this is horrible. Yeah. But the game's still fun.
Mm-hmm.
But the point I'm trying to make is I do kind of see where you're coming at from whenever you're talking about how they're like, oh, we can make the game either look crappy but run better, or make it look beautiful, but we won't be able to do as much on the side of being able to play with friends unless you're playing it over the internet on two completely separate systems.
And then they don't even have to worry about it.
Exactly. They can just make the game how it is, and then it just offloads everything else onto the user.
Yeah, because I especially with last year, with all the games that were really popular, a company's going to look at game... We've already seen companies try to kind of make games like Overwatch, like what is it, the Agents of Mayhem?
Yeah.
Obviously, they started working on that before Overwatch came out, but like it just kind of shows the trends that the companies are going towards.
Right.
Like that's a single player game. It's completely single player game, but like. That's weird. I don't.
It has like multiplayer aspects to it.
It has like multiplayer aspects, and like you can't play with your friends, but you can see what your friends are doing, and you can like send your like friends on missions if they have the game, and like something like that. It's
very strange.
It's weird. It's like why?
Yeah.
Why?
Why give me the illusion that there's some kind of multiplayer when it's nothing?
Exactly. Well, like, to circle back to single player games dying, because we kind of went off on a little bit of a tangent there.
Right.
I feel like you're right. It is the trends that are being set by other successful games. Because in the last few years, there's been single-player games. But name one right now off the top of your head in the next 5 seconds. Go.
Wait, single-player games?
Yes.
Wolfenstein?
Ahead in time.
Okay, you named 2.
Mario Odyssey.
Just single-player games? Assassin's Creed Origins?
It's too late. Time's up.
You only gave me 5 seconds.
Yes. Now, in the next 5 seconds, tell me every multiplayer game that you played in the last few years. Go.
Destiny 2. World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Guild Wars.
There's Rainbow Six Siege.
You named off a lot more in that few seconds than you did with single-player games. That's what I'm trying to get at. Is you remember those games more than you do all those single-player games that you played. Because I know I gave you like 5 seconds to figure it all out, which isn't a lot of time. But it's like, hey, you tell me about this, then you tell me about this, and the first few things that pop to your head is what you really remember about those specific categories. So whenever I asked you about single-player games, it was like these games, this game. And it was because those games were big titles, and they had a lot of press pushed out about them.
Right.
Whenever I was talking about the multiplayer games, those games aren't necessarily the most notarized on the entire planet. I mean, right now they are because they're pretty popular. But
not all of them were, some of them.
Exactly. But they're games that you remember personally, and you can get off the top of your head like that. And that's why I feel like the trends are setting the precedent for video game companies.
I think the biggest thing is, okay, me as a consumer, I go to the store, I buy Overwatch, and I buy Wolfenstein 2. I go home, I play both games for 60 hours. Which one gives me the opportunity to spend more money? You know what I mean? I play Wolfenstein 2 for complete it, beat it. Maybe I even play it through a couple times. You know what I mean? I play it a lot. You know, and I play Overwatch just as much. The new seasonal Overwatch event skins come out. I have a month to
and you're like, oh shit.
You're like, well, I mean, I don't think that the Overwatch loot system isn't fair. I just think that it makes you want to buy the loot
it's not
boxes.
fair. It's not fair. Every time I open one of those loot boxes, it's all complete dog shit.
But it makes you want to buy. I've bought loot boxes.
Me too.
I haven't. I can proudly say that I haven't. Funkle has not bought a single loot box.
So, I have a problem.
So I've spent, I think I spent $20 on the Christmas ones and then $20 on the Halloween ones. So that means, and I spent $40 on Overwatch because I bought it on PC. It's only $40. That means that for a $40 game, they got me to spend $80 on that game.
They played you like a sucker.
They did. They got me.
I mean, they got me
Which is
too.
fine. I mean, I don't know. I don't mind those Overwatch loot boxes because they're only cosmetic. I'm not saying that those are a bad thing. I'm saying that as a company, they got more for their money. They got more money making that Overwatch multiplayer game than Wolfenstein did for that on the same amount of base sales. That Overwatch is going to make more money. I mean, and companies look at that and they're like, how can we take Overwatch money and put it into our single player games money? And people don't like that. Because, I don't mind it.
I don't like it at all. I feel like when you're getting cosmetic things, it's cool because you're playing with other people.
Yeah, you can show them.
That's cool. You're showing off. When you're in a single-player game and you're getting cosmetic stuff and maybe some extra equipment
you're just showing
or whatever,
it off to yourself.
You're literally showing it off to yourself. Maybe your friends are like, hey guys, look what I got. You take that screenshot and you post it on Facebook and everyone's like, but that's it. You're not really doing it for anything else.
I agree. Yeah.
So I think in that instance, that's completely and utterly stupid.
Yeah, I don't think that there should be loot boxes in Assassin's Creed Origins.
I don't either.
I agree.
Even for cosmetic stuff.
I mean, I know that I have completely sworn off Assassin's Creed for the foreseeable future, but even I am like, bruh.
But like, okay, see, because that gives you such a strong distasteful feeling, that might, say, I don't know, you're really excited about a Fallout 5, right? Okay, or the next Elder Scrolls game.
Don't do this to me.
Elder Scrolls 6 is coming out. It's got loot boxes in it. That's going to piss you off, right?
Yes!
Some people, that might be the verge of, I'm not going to buy it.
I wouldn't buy it.
There you go. See,
I would not buy it.
And I think that's why single-player games I don't think they're dead, obviously. I think they're on a downward trend if they keep doing stuff like that.
Actually, okay, I might buy it. I might.
But you're going to be pissed off about it.
Yeah, I'll be really pissed off.
You might not buy the re-release of Elder Scrolls 6.
I mean, I'll go into the GameStop after I've pre-ordered it and be like, give me my game. Just give it here.
Yeah,
give me that poster, and then I'll leave, and I'll be really angry about it, and then I'll be like, why did I go to GameStop? I don't own a console. I'm gonna download this on my PC. Sorry, I went really far for that. Yeah, I just got the little download card.
I think that's exactly why that single player games are dying.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't say they're dead, but I can definitely see that they're dying. But I don't think that they will die.
I don't think they're going to completely die off.
I don't know. Like, the most notable video games that are single player that I can think of off the top of my head that have become really popular are honestly like choice-based games, Telltale games, stuff like that.
I can see that.
Those are the most popular single-player games that pop into my most recent memory.
Which leads me to my next point. I think that maybe AAA single-player games will die, and that's where the indie developers are going to step in. Because that was an indie developer to begin with. Now that they're so popular, I mean, you could probably say that they're whatever.
Well, yeah.
But to start off with, they were like an indie developer. But, so, yeah.
Yeah, I think...
Go ahead.
I think that regardless of what AAA developers are doing, the success of games like Cuphead and A Hat in Time, and regardless of whether you think it was a good game or not, the success of Ukulele show that people still want single-player games because it's laissez-faire. If the market isn't providing what people want, they'll make it themselves.
Exactly, and people bought those games. Those games turned a profit, you know. I haven't bought Hat in Time yet, but I'm going to, and me and Alex have played Cuphead, and it doesn't have online connectivity, I don't think. It's just
boxes,
it's got couch co-op.
I don't even think it has leaderboards.
No, it's just got the couch co-op, and I would say it's a single player game with just couch co-op.
Honestly, Cuphead's a great game.
Yeah, it is.
Agreed.
And a AAA developer isn't going to make a game.
You know
like
what?
Cuphead.
You know what I just realized? We just kind of killed our own theory with Cuphead.
You think so?
Well, because like Cuphead is a game that runs good.
Yep.
And doesn't look the best.
No. Well, I mean, look.
It looks good, yes.
Yeah. For what it is.
For what it is, but like
it's not like AAA graphics.
Yeah. What I'm trying to say is that they didn't put they obviously put effort into it.
They put a lot of work into it, but it's not like a team of hundreds of people animating Assassin's Creed Origins.
And I feel like that I'm starting to agree with you is that indie developers are going to snatch that single player market because they can do more with less.
Yeah, for sure.
They don't have to think really hard and say, well, we have all this technology that we need to utilize. How do we utilize it, but also stick with creativity? Because I feel like the higher up in technology you get, the less creativity you need to make something look cool.
Oh, for sure. I would think so. I mean, obviously, you still need to be creative. Go ahead.
I think indie developers also have the benefit of they don't have, like, corporate higher-ups breathing down their neck like we need this out by Christmas so we can get the Christmas market.
Yeah. They can just release it when it's done.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And which I think is a good thing that like things like Kickstarter and the GoFundMe to an extent, because a single player game that I really love is Psychonauts 1, and that came out for the original Xbox and PlayStation 2.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that game would do very well nowadays. But they're making a Psychonauts 2 because I don't think it was Kickstarter. It was one of the other ones. I don't know. It's like Kickstarter. It's a different site. But they got people were like, I want to play Psychonauts 2, and they donated the money, and then now they're making Psychonauts 2, and it's going to come out, and I'm going to get to play it.
Yeah,
and that's awesome. And it's an indie developer. It's Double Fine Studios, and now I'm going to get to play my single player game that I want. And fuck the big corporations that are... I mean, I don't think fuck them, but you know what I mean.
Well, like, the thing... Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, this is a little on topic, but kind of not. But if there was a Kickstarter for a new Conker's Bad Fur Day game, I would back that up so fast.
Yeah, and that's exactly... If there's a need for it, and if the companies are willing to put those IPs out there, you know what I mean, like the Conker's Bad Fur Day, then you can instantly gauge the response of... People are giving us money to even make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, when it comes to big companies, I understand that sales need to be made. We need to make money. We need to move forward and all this kind of stuff. And we need to be more successful because we need to grow. But I feel like what's tapering off recently is it's less about how people feel about it and more about how much money people make.
Oh, for sure.
Which makes me really sad. Because a lot of companies that I really love, like Bethesda, and actually it's just really Bethesda.
Yeah, recently
has gone down that road, and it's making me really upset because a few years ago, every single time a game came out, I was like, this is going to be awesome, and then it was.
Yeah.
They didn't have to worry about, making the extra amounts of money that they wanted. They were just like, hey, here's the game, here's this, and boom.
You're good to go. Yeah. Now they're like, we got paid mods, but they're not mods. They're paid. What do they even call them?
The Creation Club.
Yeah, it's the Creation Club. They're not paid mods, even though they're mods.
Yeah.
That some people have already been made and you can already download. But now buy the Bethesda version for 10 star coins or
buy our currency.
Yeah, there's always that weird in between currency.
Yeah.
Which I hate.
I also hate that.
You buy, they give you a little bit of it, but not enough
to
buy a full one. And then you're like, well, I can make one purchase and I'll have enough to buy one box. And you still have a little bit of leftover currency and you're like,
the biggest thing that's disappointed me about them recently, besides obviously taking creator content and kind of trying to slap a sticker on it saying this is ours, pay for it.
Have they made any money off of that?
I don't know. I'm not 100%. Because I haven't even looked into it.
Because I bet they've made money off the Assassin's Creed loot boxes. But there's no fucking way they made money off those paid mods, right? There's no way!
Who would buy that?
But the thing about it is here recently, the really big thing that they've done that has just made me go, guys, no, please don't, is the constant remaking, upgrading, and porting of Skyrim.
Skyrim.
That's fair.
Skyrim's coming out for your phones, 2018.
Let it die.
You want to play?
Skyrim came out. Good game. Not the best game I've ever played, but it was a good game. And then they were like, okay, let's go ahead and remake this, or not even really remake it, just port it to the new consoles. Okay, that's fine. You've done that with other games.
Yeah, that's fine.
From Xbox,
a lot of companies have done that too.
From Xbox 360 to Xbox One. That's fine. That's fine. That's all good.
Yeah.
Then they were like, okay, well, now let's make it VR. And I'm like, okay, guys, it's good. You're fine. You can stop. And then they're like, okay, we're going to even go further than that and completely remaster the game and do all this crazy stuff with it. I'm like, okay, stop. You're basically saying, here's this game, here's this game, here's this game, it's the same game over and over, and you're just paying more money for the same game over and over.
Right.
The only thing that I liked was that if you already owned Skyrim and all the DLCs on Steam, you got the upgrade version for the consoles for free. Not that you couldn't have already done that with mods.
Well, yeah.
That was fine. But then, okay, so say I'm a PS3 player. I played Skyrim when it came out. I got my PS4. I'm like, okay, I want to buy Skyrim for my PS4. So I buy it for my PS4. And then they're like, wait, but to play it on Skyrim VR PS4, you got to buy Skyrim VR. You're like, but I already own Skyrim. I bought the enhanced edition. I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's just like, I already own Skyrim. Why not just add... I know it's a lot of work and that it's a lot of time and money to do it, but it just seems shitty to charge someone for a game that they already have, but just to play it a different way.
Right.
Exactly.
Like I understand, like, maybe moving consoles. Like, I'm not even upset about the Switch one, honestly. Because it's for a different console. Maybe people only buy Nintendo consoles, but they've always really wanted to play Skyrim. Now they can. Good for them.
Or
whatever.
They just want to play it on the go.
Yeah, exactly. But, like, that doesn't mean you have to buy it for those consoles. But, like,
right.
Just like as a PS4 VR only, now I'll have 2 copies of the same game. If I want to play it just normal, I'll play that one. And if I want to play it with my headset on, I'll take my other copy of the game and I'll put that one in.
Well, see, like, here's the thing.
Each for $60.
It would have been cool if they just said, okay, here's an update.
Yeah.
Here's a VR mode that you can choose or a regular mode.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm 100% okay with that.
That would have been perfect.
Because, I mean, the biggest thing about VR is not only do I have to go out, buy myself a headset, your preference.
Yeah. You have to
buy the VR version.
You have to buy the console. You have to buy the VR headset for the console, even if you don't buy the one for the computer. You know?
Exactly.
Like, I already, like, okay, exact same thing. I already own Skyrim on my PC. Now I'm going to buy Skyrim VR for my PC?
Hell no.
So that no, I'm not going to do that. Even if I did own a VR headset. I don't know. That's just shitty.
Well, I don't see why I would do that.
Like, I own the game. I own this game.
Exactly. It's just like paying for the game twice.
That's like, okay, here's the movie. You want to buy the movie, but you want to watch it in your living room? We're gonna charge you more money to watch the same movie in a different place. Like, what? I don't know.
I mean, I guess that's kind of movie theaters and buying DVDs, but
I don't know. But, like,
you don't have to.
You don't own the movie when you go to the movie theater.
That's true.
I own Skyrim. It's on my computer. That's mine.
You're right.
But, I mean, I just feel like they're trying to milk the money out of the same game over and over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess I don't blame them because people will buy it. I just think it's...
I have not bought Skyrim since I got the big pack for the PC.
Yeah,
Same.
I bought Skyrim for the PS3 when it came out, and then once I bought my gaming computer, I bought Skyrim for that.
And I'll be 100% honest.
Yep.
If they didn't have that awesome pack that I got at an unnamed supercenter that I'm not going to talk about, it's a store.
Yeah.
Anyway, if I hadn't gotten that pack for $50 that had the first 2 Elder Scrolls, Oblivion, Morrowind, Skyrim, everything. It had everything, all the DLCs and everything for $50. I would not have bought Skyrim for my computer.
How can they charge you $50 for that, but then they want $60 again for... I would be less upset if it were like $30.
I'd be less upset if it was like $10.
Yeah.
That's how much that's how much I would maybe be willing to pay for something like that. If all the conditions were met, like I had a VR headset and everything and I was really wanting the game. But I don't have any of those things, and then you want me to pay an extra $60 on top of that. Nah, fam. I ain't doing that. It's not going to happen.
Another thing affecting single-player games these days, well, all games for the most part, DLC, downloadable content.
Okay, I just want to break down DLC real fast. Does it just mean downloadable content?
It stands for downloadable content, but people argue DLCs is like map packs and skins and expansions are.
Mm-hmm. I was more just breaking down the actual letters.
DLC stands for downloadable content.
Downloadable is one word, isn't it?
Yeah, but just DC Comics. You can't have just DC. DC's like...
I know that, but like...
Acronyms.
I don't ever break anything down like that.
No, they don't. But that's what it is.
I mean, I know that's what it is. Anyway, I'm sorry. I just had to
no, you're good.
think about that. I was like, DLC, downloadable content. It's like, but that's one... Anyway, sorry.
Here's something I want to say quickly about DLC that's been weighing on my heart for years. Dead Rising 2 off the record, where they re-released Dead Rising 2 but with a different main character and it's like a different story. They charge $5 if you want to use cheat codes. $5 for like infinite health or big head mode. $5.
See, that's the thing about DLC that drives me nuts. DLC should add to the game. It should not be pay for this so you can have part of the game.
Right. It should be content that's adding to the game. that was.
I mean, I guess to release. If you really want to get down to the nitty gritty, cheat codes are technically not part of the game. They are adding to it,
but
in a sense.
But back in the day, when I played San Andreas, I didn't have to pay.
Well, yeah, but back in the day, every game had cheat codes. Nowadays, name one game that has a cheat code. Exactly.
The oddity about the scenario that I mentioned, though, in Dead Rising 2, off the record, is I had to specify because...
Well, no, it sounds like you're saying Dead Rising 2 off the record. Like, you don't want us to put this in the podcast. Just like, off the record, you're talking to us just one-on-one.
But the oddity about that scenario is that the company that makes Dead Rising, which rhymes with Crapcom, is very infamous for locking content that is already on the disc of the games they're selling and selling it as DLC.
That's the shitty side of it. It's already on the disc, and they're like day one ships out. That'll be $15 to pay that. It's already on the disc.
Yes, I already bought it.
Exactly. It's like you go home and you have pizza. Some of the pizza's locked off with a little lock, and you gotta pay $5 for the key. But
I think a big title that I think everyone can kind of relate to in one way or another that has a kind of DLC sense to it that is just completely and utterly crap. And that's Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat's like, here's the base game, here's your base characters, but if you want the cool characters like Predator or Alien or Jason, yeah, you're gonna have to pay extra money for that, or pre-order the game beforehand and get those extra kind of characters, or pay for the season pass that just gives you extra characters. It doesn't give you extra maps or anything, just the extra characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then in the most recent Mortal Kombat, there's like an insane amount of just costume packs that you can buy. That's only like 3 costumes per pack, and it's like, I don't know how much they are, but if I had to guess, I'd say it's probably somewhere around $5 each.
Which is why I think that, honestly, out of all the games that have loot boxes and downloadable content and extra stuff that they add, I honestly think that Overwatch does it the best. New skins come out, you can get those just by playing the game, and it's honestly not that hard. I haven't bought that many loot boxes. I've just played a ridiculous amount of the game, and I have pretty much almost every legendary skin.
Well, here's my deal.
And
DLC.
All the new maps and stuff are free. Sorry, all the new characters that come out, you can play those.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
When I'm paying for the characters, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
When I'm paying for a costume for the characters, okay, that's fine. That's vanity.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nobody cares. You can have it or you can not have it. It doesn't change anything.
Yeah, it just changes how you look, I guess. It doesn't do anything.
Like, whenever I have to pay for something that takes away something that I should be able to do, that everybody else can do, and it's there, that you can see that it's there, it's just like, you can't do this till you pay. That, I am, okay. Sorry about that, people. I lost my train of thought. I just whacked the microphone.
I think I know where you were going, that if you're locked off from something, you don't like that.
Yeah,
maybe. I think that's okay to an extent.
Well, no, like, here's the deal. Fallout 3.
Yep.
Completely wholesome game.
Yeah.
The DLC that came with that added onto the game. But I didn't feel locked off from the other parts of the game that were the DLC. They added to it. The only thing that I might have a little bit of an argument on is Broken Steel.
Yeah, because I think that they did that one just because people didn't like the end to Fallout 3, and I didn't either. And they were like, we can fix this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can make it better.
we can make this better.
But that was an honest mistake. It wasn't like, okay, let's make a really shitty ending.
Yeah.
And then when people hate it, let's give them the real one.
Yeah. It wasn't like pay to see the real ending right when the game came out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, you want to continue to see the true ending? Like, maybe get some Orc Boys and buy some loot boxes? Because that's what that's why people want to beat the post game of Shadow of Mordor, is because that's how you get the true ending.
Yeah.
So a section of the story is locked off by a ridiculous amount of grinding or buying Orc Boys.
Well, yeah, but you can totally do it without paying anything.
It depends on how long it is. Because I understand, like, if you only had to maybe play the game for, like, I don't know. I haven't played that game. But if it was a normal amount of time, like, if the pace didn't feel any different from the main game, like, if the pace was the same, how you upgrade your stuff at the same levels. But from what I've read, it seems like that you grind, you slow down, your progress.
Yeah.
And you really have to like put more and more
World of Warcraft.
more and more hours to get that. But then is it fun doing that?
No.
Some games it might be the grind. Sometimes the grind is fun in a game, and that's okay. But it doesn't seem like that's the case in Shadow of Mordor.
Like in the sense of Shadow of Mordor, I don't feel like I should have to grind to see the true ending.
Yeah.
But in the case of like World of Warcraft or Destiny, at least in my opinion, there's something satisfying about seeing your numbers go up and knowing that now because you're stronger, you can do more content that maybe isn't necessarily required for completion, but it's just like extra content that's like, hey, you can do this if you're strong enough.
Plus, at least in my opinion, I don't feel like the grind in World of Warcraft to get to new content is particularly long. Right. Maybe to get to the very end content where all the new stuff is happening is long, but I mean, I unlock a new dungeon every like couple levels. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I don't know.
I just, for the most part, when it comes to grinds, I should have fun.
Yeah.
And if I'm not having fun, you've obviously taken the game, let's artificially elongate this game by making them have to power through all this bullcrap.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they're just going to get to the end and be done. And we don't want that because then people will complain that the game isn't enough. Mm-hmm. But I feel like when it comes to how people are like, I shouldn't have to pay to get this extra stuff.
Yeah.
Companies took that and they go, okay, you don't want to pay for the extra stuff? Fine. We'll just make it so fucking hard to get that you can either grind your way all the way to the end and finally get it, or just pay and get there already.
Yeah, they're trying to give you that easy way out of paying them money.
Star Wars.
Yeah, which is, hey, we haven't even brought up Star Wars.
Which, by the way... Recently, Disney's been a little bit upset about that.
I read that. They were upset. They were like, how dare you drag Star Wars name through the shit right before the movie comes out? Execs at EA are like, fuck. Because EA's pretty big, but man, Disney.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah, Disney's like the most powerful corporation in the fucking world.
See, we're going off on a small tangent. I'm going to give it about 2 minutes, and then we'll bring it back to where we were.
Okay.
Disney did not care when the game was initially released. They didn't care until it started getting bad press for them.
Well, yeah, it's everywhere. It got international press release and people
exactly. And see, that's what makes me think that Disney isn't being genuine. They went, okay, yeah, go ahead. And then people were like, we don't like this. And Disney was like, it's your fault, EA. It's yours. It's not ours. It's them, guys. Yeah. We're gonna try to fix it, but it's their fault.
Oh, if people would have loved it, Disney wouldn't have cared.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I don't know. Can you really blame them?
I can.
If people love it and they're making money, Disney's like, okay, I don't know.
If that's what they like.
Yeah, if that's what they like.
People are stupid, I guess.
Yeah.
That's another reason why I feel like the indie developers are going to start taking over the single player.
Which is fine with me.
Single player field is because they actually care.
Yeah.
They actually care how
they do.
Each individual person feels about the game. Mm. Whereas a big company is going to be like, what's the general consensus? Woo! All right, fuck everyone else.
What's the general consensus? Looks at their bank account. Yeah!
We did it.
We did it!
Yeah, don't care about... No, I don't care if you don't want to... You can't have Luke Skywalker in the game. I don't care about that, and we're making money. Goodbye!
I have a good topic to lead into about the DLC. How do you feel about the Destiny 2 DLC? None of it's out yet, but we all played Destiny 2 together. Yes.
Honestly, I just feel like this is how it is. It's like the DLC is essentially just artificial longevity. But in the good sense. It's not like, hey, let's add to the game but make it so it's like not in a whole bunch of extra content. Essentially what's happening when they're releasing the new DLC for Destiny is they're basically going, okay, here's Destiny 3.
Yeah, with more stuff and smaller segments. But
because Destiny 2 has an ending.
Yeah,
it has an end goal. Yeah. The raid ends. The story ends. It's all done. You can be done after that, and it's a good amount of playtime to that point, and it's a good amount of story. Yeah. And you don't have to come back to it, ever. You can be done.
But if you want more...
here's DLC at half the price of a new game.
Yeah, not even half. It's $20.
Exactly.
And like I said, it's not out yet. I don't know how long it's going to be, but I'm assuming that I'm going to play it for at least, I don't know.
I'm going to assume
15?
7 to 8 hours.
I mean, like, as a total, I would think maybe, like, 15 to 20 hours.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if we're going to
like the weekly
if you're going to get
stuff,
the high points.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about the normal, casual, main stuff.
I would say at least, like, 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
Which I would pay $20 for that.
Exactly.
Because it's... I don't even... Your opinion on Destiny 2.
It's adding to the game.
I enjoyed Destiny 2. I feel like I got my money's worth out of it for $60, and I put a decent amount of time into it. I would pay $20 for 6 to 8 hours of more content.
Well,
it's not like they're just adding, like, pay us $20 and you can get to light level 350.
Well, that's
doing the same stuff.
See, that loops around back to my original point. If it adds to the game, it doesn't say, okay, here's a part of the game. You can't go there unless you pay for it, though.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like the light level cap is, what is it, 305?
Yeah.
Yes.
You get to light level 305, but you got to pay for this before you can get to light level 305. And here's this whole other section of the game, like a whole other planet, whole other universe or something like that. You can't go there till you pay for it.
Right.
I think people were upset that, like, before the game came out, they already announced that there would be DLC. That's just how games are nowadays, and that's just smart company management. It's not like they're going to, like, all right, we're not even going to think about DLC. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that they started working on the DLC right when they started making the game. They made the game, and then they were like, all right, it's at a playable state. We just need to bug fix it. There's a lot of stuff of that goes on that takes months. Not everyone who was making the game needs to work on bug fixing.
Yeah.
You take the 20% of people, and you go, all right, bug fix it, get it working on all the hardware and stuff, get it good to go, all the content's there. And then they take the 80 rest of the people, and then they're like, all right, let's start working on the DLCs that are going to come out 3 or 4 months after the game came out. And then that's just a smart way to work your company.
Right.
People are upset. They're like, why didn't they just add that to the game? The argument is they're like, why didn't they take the first DLC that's come out, wait, and then make that part of the main game? Well, then why don't they just keep adding to the game and never release it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why don't they take the DLC that's going to come out in 8 months and not release the game and add that to it and still charge us $60? You know what I mean?
I agree with you to a certain extent. I agree that times change and we need to evolve to a point.
Yeah.
But where I have the biggest problem is, where does that point stop? Where do we stop and say, we are not going to go any further than this?
I can tell you where it stops. Whenever they make $60, whatever they feel like is $60 worth of content, and they go, all right, let's take 20% of that and charge people more money for that and ship it all day one. That's where I'm drawing the line.
Yeah.
But that's not what they did. They made Destiny 2, and they were like...
Destiny 2 is the best example.
Yeah. Because they came out with Destiny 2, and they were like, all right, we feel that Destiny 2 is $60 worth of content. Now let's start working on more content that we can charge more money for if players want that. And they were like, well, why didn't they add that into the main game? Well, then they're making what they feel like is $80 worth of content and charging you $60. That'd be good as a consumer, but that doesn't make good company sense.
It's not practical.
Exactly. Yeah. A company is going to make money. Even indie developers, sure, they want to get their game out there and it's like a dream, but they're still selling it to you. You know what I mean? You can just download content for free.
To be fair, and I know this might piss a lot of people off, indie developers, for the most part, have early access. And I don't have a problem with early access, because essentially what early access is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The game comes out with $60 worth of content.
Yeah.
So Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Now, if Destiny 2 were to come out as an early access game when it came out, and I'm paralleling a AAA company to an indie developer. I know.
Okay. Yeah,
it's completely asinine. But the indie developer is going to release that $60 worth of content, and then for free, until the game's full release, just keep adding content all the way and keep going like that. And I feel like that's what a lot of people wish would have happened, which I think, again, does not make good practical sense.
Exactly.
It does not make a good business model. I understand that completely. But what I'm trying to get into the headspace of those people who are like, why didn't they just add that stuff to the game before releasing it?
Yeah.
Well, because then you get a whole early access thing, and everyone says they hate early access.
I do. I hate early access.
How do you feel about it?
To an extent. I hate certain games that are in early access. I'm mixed, I guess.
I don't agree with... I know not every game does this, but there are a lot of early access games that charge you to access the early access. Like, you're paying just to play the early access, Which I wouldn't mind paying for it if it was a full game. But I'm not going to drop, like, $60 for a game that's not even, like, in beta yet.
Well, like, here's an example. And this is a horrible example because the game has turned into a complete dumpster fire.
I think I know what you're going to talk about.
So, H1Z1.
Yep.
H1Z1 has split into 2 separate games. But here's what I think they did right when they did that game. And let me tell you, it's a dumpster fire. I'm not defending the actual, like, goodness of the game.
Okay.
I'm just telling you about their business practice and why I think that's good. So the game came out, it was H1Z1. Early access zombie survival game with, like, a King of the Hill game in the background. King of the Hill took off, by the way.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the game kept going, and then it released. But when it released, it split into 2 separate games. I paid $20 initially for the game, the early access H1Z1.
Yeah.
And then it split into 2 separate games. And when that happened, they didn't make me pay for the second game. They were like, you can have them both. You paid for $20 since the game released. Here's both. Yeah, here you go.
Okay. See,
that's fine.
See that, yeah.
But here's my deal and where I was going with the whole AAA early access thing. If they released Destiny 2, and they were like, okay, we're just going to keep adding to the game for free. So you're now paying developers, bug fixers, and publicists to go, okay, we're going to keep adding this content all the time, every single day, and hope it works.
Yeah.
All the time. And hope there's no backlash whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And you're draining all that money, you're draining all those resources, and then you're draining away from the experience of the game, because I can tell you right now, every single time I play an early access game and they add stuff for free and everything, that's cool and all, and you're adding extra content and everything, but then the game has bugs, the game has crashes, the game stops working for certain people, and they have to keep coming out with hot fixes and patches and everything, and it messes up the whole dynamic of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that with my AAA games. I want them to work all the time, when I get them,
exactly,
and when I have them.
I think people don't understand if they wanted Destiny 2 in kind of like that early access state where like they add stuff to the game, Destiny 2 would have came out months ago.
Yeah.
Maybe even like 9 months ago, and not all the content that's in it right now at release would have been in it. You would have been only be able to play, you would have still paid probably $60, because if you get the full game when it releases, right?
Maybe the first planet.
Maybe I had Earth and then like a little bit of Titan or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then people would have played that, and then they'd be like, not enough content. And then they slowly release the content over until it's like fully released. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's all the content. So would people be mad then? I don't know. It seems like it's what they want, but it's the same thing. I don't know.
No, that in all honesty,
I don't want that.
If they added it slowly like that, they trickled it out over time.
Wouldn't be playing it.
I wouldn't be playing
There'd
it.
be longer gaps in me not playing it.
I just wouldn't.
I'd wait until they added all.
I would probably just get rid of it. I probably just wouldn't play it. It would be in my Steam. It would be in my library, like the first Titanfall is in my Origin library.
Yep.
I don't play that game. I bought it, played it for a while, stopped playing it. Never opened it since. I don't even think I have it downloaded anymore. And I don't want that to happen with every game I ever play. And that's what would have happened with Destiny 2 if they had done what people say they want.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to quote Blizzard on this, and this is horrible. You don't know what you want.
Sometimes people don't know what they want.
Sometimes they don't. I agree with that.
Sometimes I don't know what I want. I don't know. I didn't think I would like Overwatch.
Well, if I were to go like this, I would go, what's your perfect game? We're going to make it for you. You give us all the details right now. I can't do it. I can't tell you what my perfect exact game is. I can tell you what games I liked.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you what games I enjoyed. And I can tell you what games I sunk the most time into.
And even if they made that perfect game for you, and it was your perfect game, and you never played any other game, how many other people would say that it's their perfect game?
Nobody.
Would it even make money? They kind of have to...
They have to make money. And I don't feel like that's what people... I feel like that's what people don't understand is... While they are a company that is supposed to be providing you entertainment, they also have to provide entertainment to an entirely different spectrum of people.
Yeah, there's a lot of different people.
You have to encompass, okay, this is what this person thinks of a perfect game. Now we have to take that idea and spread it across millions of people.
Yeah.
And make them all think that this is what they want. And that's ridiculous.
Yeah. The fact that so many people... Just to think about how many people bought Overwatch. What even is Overwatch? That many people bought it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Or any gamer. That many people bought Destiny 2. I think Destiny 2 is the biggest release for this year, most sales-wise.
Which I think is a really good point about why single-player games are dying off.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to apply to the broad demographic.
Multiplayer
and
games.
The broad demographic is no longer single-player games.
Exactly.
Right.
Back in the day...
Which...
It was single-player games. Everyone wanted to have the best single-player experience, have their friends come over, watch them, and show them, hey, look how kick-ass I am at this game. Nobody wants that anymore. They want to be able to play with their friends.
Right. I feel like the main gaming market right now is whereas you and I grew up Nintendo 64 era,
Yeah.
Now it's people who grew up with the 360 where it's playing Call of Duty all the time, so they want online multiplayer games.
Which I think is fine. I think in conclusion I can sum it up right now. Oh man, I had it good in my head.
I've got a really good one. If you can think of yours before the end.
Okay, go ahead.
My general conclusion about all this is single-player games are probably going to be shrunk down to a smaller market in indie developers.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think AAA single-player games are dying, but that void is going to be filled with single-player indie games, which is fine with me.
Here's the deal. When it comes to multiplayer games, AAA is going to take the market. And it's because they're going to be able to take that broad spectrum and bring it into what people want.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to single-player games, indie developers who just need a kickstart and then they'll go off and do whatever, they're going to be able to pay attention to the small demographic that wants single-player games.
Yeah, and what they want... to be more niche,
Exactly. They're allowed to be a niche group, whereas broader companies are not because it would fail.
Exactly.
Which is why multiplayer is going to be taken over by AAA. We're going to make some very definitive statements here today in the FunkleBunker.
That's what we're concluding with our arguments, at least.
We are concluding that is the multiplayer is going to be taken over by AAAs. Indie developers are going to sweep in, take that single-player market, and make it a more niche thing.
Yeah.
Where single-player games are going to be very diverse, and then multiplayer games are going to be a more broad spectrum thing to where more people can enjoy them across the entire board. Wow, we made some really breakthrough stuff here today, guys.
And to tie in the DLCs, I think we're okay with DLCs as long as they really add value.
As long as they add to the game, they don't take away parts of the game that should be there to begin with.
Yeah, I think that's an easy justification right there. It's just that. And the pizza analogy. The pizza analogy is the best way to put it. Yeah. If it's already on my pizza when I bought it, I don't want to have to pay extra for it. You know what I mean? Exactly. And the pepperonis come in a little side box, and it's locked for $5. You want the key to take home? You still have the pepperonis at home with you, but you can't eat them unless you buy the key. And then once you get the pepperonis out, you have to pay some extra money to get them cooked into the pizza. Exactly. Do you want your pepperonis to be? I don't know. We can make them a different color. That'd be kind of cool. We got food coloring. But general consensus across the board is single-player games are dying in the AAA market. Yeah. But they will be revitalized in the indie and I don't think that we need to be super sad about that. No. The gaming world is evolving. Yeah. More people play games now than ever before. Honestly, that is a fact. Yes, and I can totally see that. It's like 10 times more. It's crazy. But I don't feel like this is a bad way. You just got to learn to roll with the change, and people don't like change. Yeah. Right. And the evolution that is happening in the gaming community is happening in a way that people don't enjoy, but it's not in a way that is detrimental. You just have to start learning to look in different places. Yeah. Instead of looking to the general market, if you want something specific, you got to go off to the side. Look at those indie developers. Look at what you want. Find those specific games in your niches that you want
and really dig into those.
And support them.
Make them grow, because you never know. You make them grow, they become this thing, bam, there's a huge success right there, and you were a part that helped that, and you get to enjoy it every single step of the way.
Yeah. Right. All right, yeah, I think that's a good conclusion. I think we wrapped it up pretty well.
Yeah, I really feel like that was really... I feel we made some pretty eye-opening discoveries for ourselves and for the people who are listening to this.
Oh, yes. We stay woke.
We always stay woke. But, yeah, we've been talking for quite a bit here.
We're good.
Yeah, so, anyway, oh, my goodness. I have totally forgotten how we end these things. This is horrible.
You say your name.
We're on number 3. Jesus Christ, this is horrible. Third time is not the charm.
Don't end it yet. Tell people to, hey, if you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. We want to do an answer your questions sort of thing.
Kind of like a Q&A segment.
Yeah, so you have to, even if it's just you, the only person that's watching this, go ahead and ask us a question or tell us how you feel about this. And we'll talk about it in the next video.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you 3 different ways that you can do that. You can leave a comment on SoundCloud. As we talk, you can leave the comment throughout the entire podcast. If there's a specific topic you're leaving a comment about, leave it at that time.
Yeah.
And we will be able to say, hey, they were talking about this specific point in time in the podcast, and bam, we know exactly what you're talking about and when we were talking about it.
If you agree with us or if you think we're bullshit, that's fine. Either way.
Yes.
Number 2, if you go to YouTube and put down those comments, a question or some sort, or a topic that you want to talk about, or just to say, hey guys, you're hilarious to some extent. Totally up for that. That's completely cool, and hit the like button. But there's also one more way, and this is the best and most direct way that you can possibly get a hold of us, and that is through Twitter.
That is to call me on my cell phone.
Yes, but
my phone number is... Sorry, go ahead.
8675309.
No!
But no, for Twitter. You can totally shoot us a tweet on Twitter at either.
Sound old.
A tweet on Twitter, but no, you can either add us at FunkleBunkle on there. But even if you do add us, go ahead and put that nice little hashtag at the end of it, and the hashtag that we're making for this specific podcast is hashtag the FunkleBunker.
There you go.
Or FunkleBunker. Which one do we want? The or FunkleBunker?
I like the.
The?
Sounds more
all right,
professional.
you got it. Hashtag the FunkleBunker.
There you go.
Definitely shoot us a tweet with hashtag the FunkleBunker, and we will definitely look at that for 100% and respond to it if you want us to. So, in conclusion, we had a lot of good things going on here today, and definitely let us know what you think in all those different separate ways that we told you about. But I've been Funkle, and it's been nice to know you.
I've been Bunkle, and I feel safe with you.
I've been Jacques from Stat Firm, and I've had a lot of fun. Had a fun time.
And join us next week on the FunkleBunker.
Dab.